Hi, I'm Bob Culbertson, and this is the Chapman stick. The stick was developed by Emmett Chapman in 1969, and he released it in 1974. The stick is a 10-stringed touchboard instrument played with two hands. The first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to learn how to put the instrument on. So I'll show you how to do that. The stick on the back here has a belt hook. What you do is you just take the belt hook and you hook it right over your belt like this. And then you take the strap, you take your right arm and your head, and you go right through the strap like that. And the stick will rest comfortably on your waist. Some people wear the stick on the inside of their leg, and you can also have the option of wearing the stick on the outside of your leg, which gives you a little bit more angle. I prefer to wear it on the inside, so either way would work. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to sound a note on the instrument. First thing is we're going to get our location down. These are your frets, which are the middle bars here. The pearls indicate where you are going and which fret that you're on. So this pearl is the most important, which is the 7th, and this pearl, which is also important, is the 12th. And instead of counting the frets, just remember to begin, you want this second pearl here, that's the 7th fret, and once again you want to remember that that's the 12th fret. Okay, to sound a note, what you do is you take your finger and you tap perpendicular to the string. That means that you take your finger and you tap straight down onto the string. The fingers are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the thumb doesn't count, even though we will use the thumb in the future. All right, now let's go to the first string. The first string is the thinnest string. So I take my first finger, I go to the 12th fret, that's that dot right there, and I'm on the thin string, and I tap in this manner, straight down, and hold the note. I'm tapping generally a little bit past the middle. That means a little bit downward toward the earth from the middle, just behind the fret. Not exactly in the center, but a little over. Although you don't have to be exact, but that gives you the best sound. So once again, that would be using the first finger on the first string. All right, now we're going to get used to using each finger on the strings going all the way across. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play on the 12th fret with the right hand, and we're going to use these also as tuning notes. So if you have a tuner or a piano, or if you have somebody that knows how to tune or can play an instrument, you can use these as a reference to tune your instrument to the video. Okay, so we're going to begin with the first finger, and we're going to start on the first string over here. So let's tap that one. That's the note D. Okay, now we tap the second string. That's the next one over. That's the note A. And the next string over, that's the note E. And the next string over, and that's the note B. And the next string over, that's the 5th string, that's the note F sharp. Okay, now we will work with the left hand, and for beginning, we'll start with our third finger. That's this one here. We go to the biggest string, that's the 6th string, and that is going to be the note G. Okay, now we take our third finger and we go to the next string, that's a D. And then we have an A. And then we have an E. And then we have a B. So that's just a good little exercise just to get started, to become familiar with the strings, and you can use those to tune to. Okay, now let's begin with a beginning warm-up exercise. And we're going to jump right in. We're going to use both hands right off the bat. Easiest way to go. So let's take our right hand. Let's just take our first finger back to the 12th fret on the first string. And then we're going to take our left hand, and we are going to now tap on the 7th fret. That's where the pearl is. On the next to the biggest string, that's the 7th string. So if you take your third finger and you tap that note, that would be a D. And if you take your first finger on your right hand over on the thin string, that's also a note D. Now, to begin the exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to count. Just like in music, we're going to count to 4 each time we play a measure. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So first, let's take the right hand and do that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try that with the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's put both hands together. And remember, you want to keep your tempo even. That means space all the notes evenly. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you're practicing with both hands as a warm-up. Okay, now what we do is we take the right hand and we're going to play half notes. That means that we're going to play 2 notes for every 4 beats that we count. And in the left hand, we're going to play quarter notes. That means we're going to play 1 note for every beat. So the left hand will play 4 times, the right hand will play twice. So just watch how I do this. Right and left together, I count off. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once again, you notice that the left hand is playing 2 notes for every one in the right. Again, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we reverse the exercise. We're going to play 2 notes in the right hand for every 1 note in the left. So here we go. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once again, we will play 2 notes in the right for every 1 in the left. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now I will show you a demonstration of this warm-up exercise. Now we're going to add some lead blues parts to those chords. First of all, let's begin by establishing the scale patterns that we're going to use. The main 2 that I use for the G blues, again, I like this sort of center position. I call this the 5th position. Again, that's because on those diagrams that we were looking at, it would start on the number 5. So an example of that would be this. That would be pentatonic scale number 5. And then when we move up, the next one starts on the 6th note, pentatonic scale number 6. So those will be the 2 positions that we'll begin with. So now what I'm going to do is demonstrate that for you with Joe. Notice the left hand will keep the chords going. And the right hand, I'll start out slowly playing some of the riffs that you've seen and some new ones that you can pick up and try for yourself. Now we're going to look at polyrhythms. 2 different rhythm figures played in each hand, played at the same time. Let's start out by looking at the left hand playing a bass line that I did earlier in one of the earlier videos, like this. So that's going to be the groove that we'll establish. Now in the right hand, I'll play 4 notes to start with. Now we're going to change that to 3 notes. Exercises you're probably fairly familiar with. But now let's try 5 notes in the right hand. Here's the figure in the right hand. So there's an interesting little sound that you can play. The 5 notes, as you notice, they turn around and eventually come back to 1, but the fact that it takes a while to do that creates a nice sound. Another one is 7 notes. And for the 7 notes, I'm going to combine some of the techniques that I showed you earlier of stretching out the hand over to scale patterns. So here's the pattern in the right hand. So the 7-note pattern goes. So that's a 7-note. Start with the bass. That's a 7 over the bass. Now let's show you an example of that.